Anin, bonjour, Minungaje. Welcome everybody to the council meeting after a holiday. I hope everybody had a good 4th of July. With that, we will call the meeting to order at 9:04 a.m. And as always, we start our meetings in a very good way. And we have Vern Adams, our spiritual advisor, here this morning to do invocation. Miigwech, Vern. Next, we'll have roll call.
Kathy Chavers,
Here.
Tara Gishik,
Here.
Shane Drift,
Oh, yeah.
Travis Morrison,
Here.
Robert Moyer.
Here.
Okay, next we have approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, corrections to the agenda?
We just need to add Tracy Dagan to add the authorized representative for her programs.
Okay.
That'll be Luke.
Luke, okay. Put Tracy Dagan under other, under Luke. Anything else? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve the agenda with that addition.
Move.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Robert. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Next, we have approval of the meeting minutes from June 12th, 2023.
Regarding the Superior National Forest, I thought I recall seeing an email asking for a picture or pictures that somebody took.
You got it.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay.
Nikki sent him a copy of the picture
Okay.
that was taken. Any other comments or questions? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 12th, 2023.
Move.
Moved by Travis,
Second.
second by Tara. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Next is our consent agenda. We have approved ARPA funds for phase 2 of the OEO project, amount of $182,926.32,400. Approved submission of 2023 CIFA certification 400. Approved FCC compliance report 400. Approved letter to BIA to in regards to detention of non-Indian under VAWA jurisdiction. 300, approved RFP for cannabis enterprise feasibility study and consultant services. 300, approved 2023-2024 Duluth Urban Office lease. 300, approved cybersecurity insurance bid to travelers. 300, approved Vermilion Head Start staining project contract to Joshua Abelson. 300, approved resolution number 114-2023 state tax exemption for hemp edibles. 400. Just a comment on the 300 polls. Travis Morrison was on vacation and therefore was not voting. He was on vacation. Any questions on the consent agenda?
Yes, when we did the poll by vote, under the approve the ARPA funds for the phase 2 of the Oreo project, I wanted to point out that underneath in the comment section, I asked to see the receipts with the actual financial reports. And for the poll vote for the Duluth Urban Office, I also said that we need to look at getting a new office site location. Excuse me. For the Duluth Urban Office, because that's getting to be too small for Wendy. And we need to really look at them getting her a new location, new office. And is Jeff on the line?
No, I don't see him.
No. Anyway, what I was going to ask was that for him to explain the resolution for the state tax exemption for the hemp edibles. But since he's not on, maybe we can have him do
Oh,
that.
he's on now. Where is he?
Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. I have a feeling that I was just being asked to explain something.
Yeah, there's resolution 114-2023 state tax exemption for hemp edibles.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So the new recreational cannabis law that passed in Minnesota had provisions that allow for, well, I should back up. So products that meet the definition of edible cannabinoids and other cannabis products are subject to regular state taxation, a sales tax, and then sort of a consumption use tax that's a 10% additional tax as well. The legislation, though, provides for tax exemption for on-reservation, on tribal land sales of those types of products, provided that the business is licensed by the tribe. So the original edible shop that was in Fortune Bay, the council authorized that that retail, and I think that resolution would have constituted a license. But you know, our recommendation was to confirm that that shop and then any other edibles sold, like for example at the C-store, were in fact licensed by the tribe to ensure that the tribe would have the benefit of the state tax exemption to be more competitive. So those resolutions just clarify that to ensure that that the tribe's able to secure the tax exemption for those types of products.
Thank you for that, Jeff. Now, going back to letter E, approve the RFP for cannabis enterprise feasibility study and consultant services. And one thing is that I'm glad that we are moving in that direction and that we need to really move fast on this one. And Jeff, if you could explain a little bit about the issues that we're facing regarding a marijuana business.
Sure. Well, as everyone knows, the state, you know, over the summer in the session passed the recreational cannabis bill. The bill overall really is what I would call a very pro-tribal bill in terms of ensuring that, and especially for on-reservation sales, the state is really stepping back and staying out of the tribe's business in terms of regulation and leaving it to the tribe to regulate those types of products and businesses, based on its inherent sovereignty. That's a really good thing. And I think the legislation is really positive in that respect. So one of the things that the legislation does, though, is it provides for a compacting process between the state and tribes located within Minnesota. And the compacting process will, the intent of it is to cover some, interjurisdictional issues that would inevitably come up if tribes want to, for example, enter the cannabis market off reservation. So, for example, taxation, licensing, transportation, things like that. A lot of those questions, especially for off reservation, transportation and sale and things, really aren't going to be clarified until that compacting process is done. And that's, that's going to take a little bit of time. I know that tribes are already in discussions, including Voice for It, with, the governor's office and trying to get that process started. So, and this is maybe what you're getting at, Shane, but one of the issues is, looking at what the tribe can do without significant risk prior to those compacts being completed and prior to the state licensing sort of system becoming up and running, which I think people expect might take a year or so. And so, I think looking at what types of opportunities are available to Voice for It on reservation for sales, given that there's not an existing business and not an existing grow operation, is something that that'll take some sort of detailed assessment to make sure the tribe can take advantage of the timing right now to get into the market if it wants to be able to be, to make revenue, but also do it in a way that's, obviously legal and safe and doesn't place the band at risk.
Yes, thank you for that, Jeff. I remember when we were down in Mystic Lake, and I think it was one of the tribal leaders from one of the, maybe it was either Oregon or Washington tribes, talked about their marijuana business, and that I had a conversation with him after his presentation, and he told me that basically their marijuana businesses surpass their casino revenue. That's how well they are doing, and I hope that we as Voice for It have that same problem, that our marijuana businesses does better than we expect. Thank you.
Also, just for the audiences and for tribal members listening and online, we are looking at a feasibility study and consultant services to get information gathered to probably put out a another request from the tribal members to start the possibility of a cannabis business. And for us to do that, we have to do our due diligence on the government side to give you the information needed in order to do that. So the RFP is out or has been approved for that. And so we will be keeping you updated as far as where we're at with that. But you will probably see something coming after this feasibility study is done concerning a cannabis business. The tribes do hold a advantage because within the state of Minnesota, there is a 17% tax off reservation for cannabis products, which probably won't happen, like Jeff said, in about a year. So for the tribes with the state tax exemption, that means that our products will be considerably cheaper than the off-reservation products. So just as an FYI, but that's kind of where we're at because it did come in the legislative session. And the state, it probably isn't going to be ready for a year, but it does become actually legal on August 1st, correct, Jeff?
Right. A lot of the possession and use provisions and decriminalization happens this summer.
And a lot of things have to, are playing into this, like our tribal code that we just approved will have to be revisited to address the change in the laws. And so even within the personnel policies, it's just going to take some revisions in certain policies. So we've got work to do, but we're on it. So we just want to make everybody aware of that.
Just a couple of things. First of all, I'd like to thank Randy and IT for applying the hearing impaired app to the screen. One of the band members was having issues, and I brought it forth to Randy and IT, and they addressed it. The other thing too is that I just forgot what I was going to say. Thank you.
You're not old enough to say that you have age problems. But anyway,
Can I-
yes,
Kathy.
yes.
I just do want to point out that if they're at home on their device and need the closed captions, they need to turn it on their device.
Okay, make sure you turn on your closed captions if you need it at home. When you're on the Teams
Oh,
app.
that's it. How did they get on the meeting? People are messaging me. They can't get on the meeting.
The link is on the website. Okay. Okay, if no other questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move.
Moved by Shane. Is there a second?
Second.
Oh,
Go ahead.
second by Robert. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, silent, motion carried. Next, we have William King with a contract agreement for David Farmer for Hideaway Pines flooring project. Good morning, William.
Good morning, guys. Hope everybody had a good weekend.
Yeah, it was a nice long weekend.
Good.
Hard to come back to work after that, but anyway.
It sure was. So what I have for you guys today is the contract for Dave Farmer to start work on the Hideaway Pines to pull up some carpet, do some flooring, the trim, remove some mold in the basement, reseal the block. We did an RFP on it. We had 2 bids and Dave Farmer came in as the lowest.
Okay. All right, and there's funding for this project.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any questions for William on the contract agreement for David Farmer? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve for the contract for the Hideaway Pines flooring project to David Farmer.
Move.
Moved by Robert. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by second by Travis. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Shane's phone keeps making noises over there. That's why I was kind of chuckling. All in favor signify by saying aye. Did I just do that? Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, see, I got COVID fog. Okay, thank you, William.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good day.
You
Will,
too.
thanks for following the procurement policy. I really like that.
Yeah, no problem. I'm still learning on a few things here, but I like it.
Good. Keep
Thank
up the
you.
good work, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Melissa Wright with the MOU Midwest Monitoring and Surveillance for Probation, Drug Testing, and Ankle Monitor Services. Good morning, Melissa.
Hi, guys. So just in front of you, is the MOU for Midwest Monitoring and Surveillance.
Oh, we're having trouble hearing you. You were good, and then it kind of faded out. Oh. Huh?
Now?
Oh, we almost heard you there. What, I don't know if you bumped something.
Can you hear me now?
There you are. There you are.
Okay. So just the MOU for the probation to do drug testing, and then for them to also do our ankle monitoring services. So this will be at really no cost. The defendants will be responsible for the daily fees for this. If the equipment is to get broken or lost, the defendant would also be responsible for that cost.
Melissa, when do you plan on implementing this when it's approved?
Well, we already have done an ankle monitor.
Oh. You've already done an ankle monitor? Okay. Okay. Any
Drug
questions?
testing.
Oh, you're cutting in and out. So. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the MOU with Midwest Monitoring and Surveillance for probation, drug testing, and ankle monitor services?
Move.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Robert. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Thanks, Melissa. Keep up the good work. Okay, next we have Teresa Morrison with the half policy changes. Okay, I don't see her on. Hang on, Kim. Kim's gonna come up in place of Teresa. Okay.
Get to the phase 2.
Turn your.
The phase 2 part, remember when we got the HAF program, HAF stands for Homeowners Assistance Fund.
Yes.
And we were helping people get caught up on their mortgage and past utilities, taxes, stuff like that. Things that would get them, like foreclosed on right away
Yep.
or something, or not be able to stay in their house. Now we're moving to the second part,
Yep.
which is the biggest part of this is the repairs. And I don't have any documentation in front of me, but we worked with Joy at Jeff's firm.
Okay.
And there's some stuff in there. There's only there's specific repairs
Do you
that
want me
can
to
be
read them,
done.
Kim?
What's
Do
that?
you want me to read them?
Yeah.
Okay, it says, this program will provide funds for home repairs which are needed to maintain the habitability of a home in order to prevent homeowner displacement. Qualifying home repairs include the following: repairing or replacing a furnace, hot water heater, roof, septic system or well, mold mitigation services, or modifications necessary for handicapped accessibility. The applicant must provide a sufficient basis for BFHD to determine if a home repair reasonably qualifies for HAF assistance. Decisions on whether a requested home repair qualifies under this program shall be made by BFHD in its sole discretion, and all decisions shall be final.
Okay.
Home repairs must be completed by a licensed and insured contractor. And the funds will be dispersed directly to the contractor named in the estimate submitted with the application after all the things have been in place.
The
And it's up to $7,500.
yeah, I was gonna say up to 7,500. The BFHD is Boysport Housing Department.
Okay, thank you.
And so there's, it's the next phase. Doing that, it'll, most of it's online through the Laserfish application. Teresa was going to do a mailing, a postcard mailing to let everybody know it's available. There's a limited amount of money in this program. I think we had, I want to say it was over 700,000 originally, and then we got a reallocation of about 30,000. So there, it's not a huge number of people we can
Right.
help.
Kim, what, is there a timeline when this money has to be spent?
I think we have about a year left.
Okay,
And I just didn't look at it because
Oh,
I
that's
didn't
okay.
know Teresa would be here. And then I believe they have to have a licensed contract. You
Yes.
know, those are a couple of
Yep.
things, a licensed contractor. And Jeff I think we had that they had to have, the contractor had to show their contractor license and their insurance.
Yep.
And we're not a
Correct, yep.
party to the contract. We're only guaranteeing up to 7,500. And if it's, the repair is more than that, it's the responsibility, it's, the contract is between the band member and the contractor, not us.
right. It does say that it was felt that there needed to be more clarification regarding the home repairs, and the new application will include the addition of a release of liability for homeowners to sign. Okay,
Mhm.
so we'll get this information out once approved as soon as possible. And she did say Laserfish is currently making the changes to the
Mhm.
application.
Yep.
One thing is that, you know, when you talked about if it's denied, it'd be nice to know the criteria as to the reason why it's being denied. I know it's not for you, but it's just in
Yeah.
general. Because it's gonna come back to us, to the council, you know, and we're gonna have to give answers and provide the answers if anything is denied. And, you know, because like, you know, I know furnaces are gonna be, expensive. Like I said before, all these furnaces that we got back in early 2000 are starting to, are beyond their shelf life because mine shut down. I actually quit working. I think it was my second year in council. And I had to buy a new one, and it was basically altogether was like $3,000. And so I think that, you know, with this the amount that we have, and can that amount basically fix a roof? You know, and depending on what it is, and where do they go? It's going to be put a financial hardship on our elders. And I think that we need to really take a look at this and say, is there more that we can do?
I believe, Jeff, that the repairs have to be, to make it habitable is a federal requirement. Is that correct?
The language in the policy about preventing homeowner displacement is really that key language that's a part of the HAF program. So all the repairs need to sort of fit within that criteria, and that's correct. That's a federal requirement, not a Boys Ford imposed requirement. And in terms of helping elders and others too with getting assistance, and Kim can speak to this a little bit too. I know that there have been discussions about trying to have Teresa coordinate with other programs as well. There may be other programs out there where this type of repair could actually be funded through another program as well, if there's an additional need beyond the 7,500 too. So sort of coordinating services on that end too, I think will be important as people try to get the assistance.
Yeah, because we talked about like, there's some programs like through
US.
AEOA and USDA and stuff
USDA.
that you could combine them, or pair them and help it. And because all the information that has to be gathered for our program is almost all the same information you would have to gather for the USDA stuff. So you would be getting the same information. So it made sense to try to help people pair them up and get them coordinated. And that I know there was one, because there was a Healthy Homes program that was just ending through Jill. She was coordinating, trying to time it so that the person's, because their repair was to be more, but the Healthy Homes program ended June 30th. I don't know if there's a new round coming out or not. I haven't seen, it's first day back for the new state programs.
Yes, new fiscal year for the state programs.
Yeah.
Any other questions regarding the HAF changes? Now I'll call for a motion to approve the second phase with the application being updated and the home repairs being added. And we'll get that information out as soon as possible once the app's been updated.
Move.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Shane. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, silent, motion carried. Thanks for filling in, Kim.
Who's up next?
Eddie,
Well, I'll just stay up because I gotta help him with the second one.
okay. Eddie Chavers. Okay. Offsite network replication to Integris. Good morning.
Good morning. So we're asking for a sole source for this, I believe. For the replication to Integris. If you guys read Randy's email. It's basically offsite backups for virtual servers and data to the storage facility in Volta Data Center.
Okay. Yeah, we have to comply with changing regulations in regards to data and server backups, so that's what this is?
That's what this is, yes.
Okay. Is it $1,800?
That's the one-time fee, the
Okay.
project services fee, but then
Okay.
it's the
Monthly, it's,
$23.46.
okay. And I'm assuming there's funding for that, right, Kim?
I believe he was using the
Grant.
cybersecurity.
Oh, cybersecurity? Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Any questions? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve the off-site network replication to Integris.
Move.
Moved by Travis. Is it second by Tara? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Next, we have a sole source request to Nelson Colley for $33,110 for the Net Lake and Vermilion clinics.
This is for the mammogram trucks coming.
Mm-hmm.
They used to bring a generator with them, but they don't do that anymore. So you have to have the specialized hookup. And in looking for when Randy first asked Nelson Colley about it, he didn't expect it to be that much, but the parts that are highly specialized
Mm-hmm.
were there. And it's a 6-week lead time to get.
I see that.
The parts. I did email IHS because it would be out of 105L lease funds.
Okay,
And they said that, yeah, because of the time frame and to be able to provide a service,
okay,
basically is what they said, as long as we, had the, because I asked about the sole source.
Yep.
And by the time we go back to get another 2 quotes and stuff, because the mammogram trucks are going to be here in August.
usually in August, yeah, end of August or so.
Yeah, it's some big specialized plug that they.
Okay.
Because it's three-phase power.
Three-phase power.
Yeah.
It has to be run across the building to the outside. so
Oh,
they will
okay,
plug
so
in.
they can plug it in?
Yeah.
Okay. So this will come out of the 105L leasing money for IHS.
Yeah, they have money that they haven't budgeted out on that, so there
Okay.
is money there. We just
Okay.
need to do budget modifications.
Sweet, and this will be for both Vermilion and Net Lake.
Yeah, and so Willie, I see Willie's on, I'll have to teach him how to do a budget modification to
Okay,
include that.
okay. Any questions? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve the sole source request to Nelson Colley for $33,110 for the Net Lake and Vermilion clinics out of the 105L lease monies for the mammogram trucks to come up. Moved
Second.
by Tara, seconded by Shane. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, silent, motion carried. Good job. Thank you. Ed. Next, we have Kim Greiner. Just stay there, Kim.
I know. I don't
Just
have
stay
anything,
there.
so I'm gonna go off memory here, so.
This is for the amendment for extension of BIA self-governance funding
Multi-year.
agreement.
Yep. So we had we've been doing multi-year funding agreements with the Bureau. And our last one expired in 2022. Yeah. 23 or 22. And so Ken Reinfeld retired.
I already looked at it.
Okay. Yeah, so all this is a one-page thing, extending it for 1 year because they
Okay.
got new negotiators.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Do we have a motion to approve the amendment for the extension of the BIA funding, self-governance funding agreement for 1 year?
Move.
Moved by Shane. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tara. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, silent, motion carried. Next is a self-funding, self-governance reprogramming request.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, good.
So this is our base funds
Yep.
and then what we take and what we leave at the BIA. This is probably where, when we actually negotiate, you know, we get to negotiate those line items. And this is just the base funding. This doesn't include, you know, extra funds that come through for like the year-end funds or anything like that. So
Okay,
there's a lot of changes to it usually.
okay,
And then when we get in we're negotiating for 2023 105Ls. That will also be on here and then,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But it's just, they've been submitted, but the BIA is backed up.
Yep. Do we have a motion to approve the BIA self-governance reprogramming request? Moved by Tara. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Travis. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Next, Kim, we have the independent services contract software selection, Clifton Larson Allen LLP.
This is, you know, I think 2 meetings ago, I had presented that we did our RFP process and we had that. Now we've worked with them to get the final contract to get started. So this is the approval of the actual contract.
Okay, and Jeff's reviewed it and it's okay.
Yep.
Okay,
We went back and forth.
this is with CLA.
Yep.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the independent services contract with, for the software selection for accounting software with CLA?
Move.
Moved by Tara. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Shane. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, silent, motion carried. Moving right along, Kim. Next, we have tower ambulance invoices.
Yes, Jeff Dam from Fortune Bay forwarded me 2 invoices from the tower ambulance service. Normally, Fortune Bay gives them 5,000 and we give them 2,500, but the invoices came in double. And in my conversations back and forth, because I asked Jeff if it's been approved, and he said that Robert sits on the board, goes to the meetings or something, and that's all he told me. So maybe you can elaborate more, but you know, because we have to approve it before, you know, and I don't know if is it a one-time increase or do you know?
Tell you the truth, I do not know. I was actually just sitting and listening in on different, how do you explain? They were looking into working with us together on one of their like plans with the ambulance and training and stuff like that. I haven't been able to make it to any new meetings on this, and this subject did not come out at the 2 that I was at. So I really don't know.
It looks like it's going in the Tower Ambulance Service Vehicle Replacement Fund. But
Yeah.
it does say that they voted to double the donation subsidy for 2023. So I'm assuming, and I shouldn't assume, but that might be a yearly amount.
We can table and we can get some more information.
Okay,
Motion to table.
motion to table by Tara. Is there a second?
Second,
Second by Robert.
I will get in touch with the people over there again and
Okay,
ask for more information.
okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Okay. 2022, 2026 fiscal year tribal transportation program addendum.
We do this every couple of years. This is the federal highway dollars that come through the BIA compact.
Okay.
And it usually changes as the feds change their laws around the road, you know, the federal highway
Right.
bills. And so this is the updated one. Like I said, Ken Reinfeld had retired at the beginning of fiscal year 22. So a lot of stuff didn't get through because we finally just got issued a new negotiator.
Okay.
So we've been working on this. This is because there's the new law. There's been, they always come up with acronyms, but this one is the Surface Transportation Reauthorization Act of 21. So it's STRA 21 is the new act. And this is pretty standard about what we do. At this time, there is no
No dollar
retained
amounts?
services.
Okay.
It's called, so like when we have engineering services,
Oh.
sometimes we leave some of the money at the BIA, and then if we don't use it, they refund it
Mhm.
at the end of the year. We will have to be doing an updated tip. That's the transportation improvement list. Transportation improvement plan, excuse me. To include the safety dollar study that we got and some other things, and like the new road, you know, we have to get the new road to go by our new buildings and
Yep.
stuff like that on
Okay.
there and stuff. Kurt Sletbeg from BIA is working with Patrick, so that will be coming.
That will be forthcoming. Okay.
Yep.
Any questions on the Tribal Transportation Program addendum for 2022 through 2026? Not a call for a motion to approve it.
Move.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tara. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Okay. Next, we have Melissa Hawk, discussion closing clinic August 25th for wellness event. And we also have David Morrison Jr. with us. Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, we can hear you. Good. Good morning, Dave. Bonjour, Menagajeb. Okay, go ahead, Melissa and Dave,
Do you want to start, Squidge, or do you want me to?
AKA Squidge.
Oh, yeah. All right. So on August 25th, we are holding a wellness event. Breast Cancer Education Association and Randy Shaver Foundation are funding it, and we're gonna have it at Fortune Bay. Leah wanted me to get approval from you guys to see about closing both clinics so that we can have all the providers participate and all the nurses and stuff. This is gonna be like a whole general wellness event is what we're planning. And we're gonna have health and wellness workshops, and at the same time, we're gonna have the mammo truck down at the Vermillion Clinic. So we'll have shifts of nurses and stuff going back and forth to help out down there. But yeah, so she was just wondering if we could close the clinics for that.
Okay, oh, go ahead.
I have a question. Is this a wellness event for the community or is it a wellness event for your department?
Community and in the departments. It'd be great if we get a bunch of departments there. We do have some departments that are gonna be joining us with this. Who did we all have on that last meeting, Squidge?
Okay, so the idea of this is a community wellness event, so we can kind of think of it as like a health fair. So we will have, the providers will be, the idea is to have them provide some kind of information and outreach, what they do, what kind of service do they provide for our community, as well as DNR will be there. Jalen will be giving the heritage tour of the heritage centers. 18th Street School might be coming down to do some knocking sticks, how to make knocking sticks or some foraging. Mental health will have a booth. SUDS will have a booth. We also thought about having HR come in there and helping people like prepare for interviews. How do you prepare for an interview? So that will help them prepare for job interviews. Like I said, it's, the goal is like to have a health fair for our community members. And so with the BCEA, the Breast Cancer Education Association, they agreed to help pay for 150 meals at $15 a plate. So we have our other departments pitching in to pay for this. We also have Linda Blackout coming in to provide a presentation, which the Cultural Healing Program will pay for half of her wage and her rooms. And the BCEA has agreed to pay for her other portion of her
Nice,
community for her
nice.
contract. So I guess what we're asking you guys is your thoughts about closing the clinics, maybe supervisor approval. Like I said, we're just kind of seeing what your guys' thoughts are. Like I said, we do have it set for 150 meals, but Melissa, I think, added 100 meals. So we're ideally looking at 200, 250. And we also do have money left over with the transit. So that way we could kind of shuttle people around, like if we're doing knocking sticks down at the community wellness center or the community center.
This sounds really good because I know in the past we've had health fairs geared towards youth, towards men, towards women, and we haven't seen that because of COVID and everything else. But I think this is a good event to have, especially for the community as well as any others that want to attend. It gives them a variety of things to think about, but prevention is key when it comes to healthcare. And so I think this is a really good event to get back into the health fairs because a lot of people can get a lot of information. And then, you know, to have the ability to have the providers there is also good to meet and greet your providers and talk with them and hopefully not get any medical advice while they're there. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I think it's a good idea.
So we're also looking at doing like some screening. So maybe checking your A1C, your cholesterol. Others even talk about like maybe doing HIV testing. So
We have several vendors coming as well from like Medica, American Cancer Society, Masonic Cancer Society, the Mayo Clinic, Essentia, Sage. That's about as few to name. So
like I said, right now we're in our planning stages of what we're going to be doing for this. So right now nothing's that set in stone, but these are some of the ideas that were tossed around. So
This is really good too because school hasn't started yet. So it'd be nice to get some, you know, kids there as well to think about young adults, young teenagers and stuff to start, you know, thinking about their health care. So good. I think it's a good idea.
so like I said, we're just seeing what you guys thoughts on closing the clinic, because the idea is to have them provide some presentation and doing some outreach. And your thoughts on maybe supervisor approval for staff. Like I said, we were trying to target the 150 community members is what the plan was.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's well enough in advance where, you know, you can let people know about the clinic being closed for meds or whatever it may be, but also time to get flyers up and maybe get something in the Boys Fort News. And
I think another thing to take into consideration too is the employee picnic day. That'll be 2 days in August that the clinic will be closed.
Okay. As long as they know in advance, I think that's good. Any other comments for Dave or Melissa?
I really like the idea of it. I'd be in favor of let them close up the clinics and supervisor approval for people to attend.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea for the health to do, and then that hopefully the also to accommodate the band members that have their appointments to make sure that they get their appointments in and get seen. But other than that, sounds like a good idea.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'd
Go ahead.
just like to make sure that you add that if there are anybody like in the health that is not going to attend, that they should be just taking leave.
Sure, yeah, that's
rather than, you know, just closing the clinics and if they don't show up at the event or anything.
Maybe that's one thing too. We could have like a sign-in sheet to have them print and sign their name that they're there.
But yeah, I think that's a really good, you know, boost for the community and hopefully morale, because we need to, they're often left out,
Right.
or they have to work during all of our other events. So I think this would be a good idea to
And on a
get involved.
sad note though, the EHDI program ended June 30th. So that program will no longer exist until we can reapply until 2027. So the EHDI, we're able to do a lot of community outreach. Some of the things that I'm pretty proud of was our wild rice camp that we were able to do with the youth in the high school, kids and whoever wanted to learn. We were able to get wild rice for both EMPs, and so they could have rice throughout the year. We generally try to get them 100 pounds each for each site. I know the last 2 years we weren't able to rice because of the weather, obviously, but I know in the past we generally had a hard time getting youth from Vermilion to sign up to go out and get the rice. So we're able to pay the kids to go to get the rice, parch it up, thrash it up, and then give it to the ENP. Our diabetes and healthy heart conferences, most of our community events were sponsored with AHDI funds, like our walks, our 5Ks, our community celebrations, community events, softball, volleyball, Halloween carnivals. We were able to hire local instructors for the rice project, canoe lessons, netting clinic, hunting, making knocking sticks. We were able to purchase 2 canoes and 4 bikes with it, which helped with racing, canoe lessons for the youth, and a triathlon for the powwow. All of our exercise shirts. We've given some to both of our urban offices, and I know Wendy and Jackie really appreciate the shirts that we give them. And we have quite a few exercise shirts, and I should have took a picture of all of them, but I just thought that, assumed that we'd continue with this EHDI because some of the grantees I met, they were funded for like 28, 30 years. And that's what my vision was like, man, we could do this. I know we could do this. The partnerships that we established, there's a huge list of partnerships that we established. Our cultural healing, our SNAP Ed, family support, Netley School, Boys and Girls Club, Community Wellness, MDH Tribal Tobacco, 1854 Treaty Authority, Saving Lives Project, Heritage Center, Early Childhood, John Hopkins of American Indian Health, SUDS, New Moon, Behavioral Health, KBFT Radio, HR, Accounting, NLPD, Leasing, DNR, Boys Fort Physical Therapy, Diane Blight of Fairview Health in Grand Rapids, Lindsay McKieran of Peacemaker in Leech Lake, Karen Jeff, Vern Adams, Harvey Jordan, Sharon Day, Ikadewin Acting Ensemble, Boys for Dental, Food Sovereignty Project, Derek Strong, Gordy Adams Jr., Gordy Adams III, Dale Luganville, Angelo Kingbird, Ruben Isham, Brianna Matris of Minnesota Extension, Ryan Bajan, and the American Indian Cancer Foundation. So with the EHDI, we're able to establish partnership with all those people. And I probably left a couple of people off there, and I apologize if I did forget you guys. Like I said, we're able to do a lot of good things with this EHDI grant. And I think we're going to suffer a little bit from that. That was really huge of all the outreach we were able to establish with that. So I just think, you as leaders and elected officials, if there's something that needs to be signed, you guys should let the chain of command know, like, hey, if this needs to be signed, we need to make sure this gets done before then. So that way, because like I said, this was a big thing, and I think we're going to suffer a little bit from this because it did do a lot of community stuff, especially like the rice for the EMP. That was pretty huge. I think it saved them money. And when we were cooking when we were shut down for the pandemic, they had to ration their rice. And I was telling Mavis and Shirley at the time, geez, you guys should be able to eat this at least once a week. And so I was like, hey, maybe we could do something with the EHDI grant. And sure enough, we presented it and they approved us. Like, yeah, you guys could definitely do that because, I explained, you guys obviously all know that rice, it is quite the work to go out there and get it, come back, parch it up, and it is pretty nutritious. So we'll have to try to find some funds where we could keep that going. I know we'd have the food sovereignty project, but that pay as like instructors, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to cover keeping that going, so.
I think, Dave, you may be able to tap some monies coming from the state legislature in regards to some of the traditional components like the ricing and that kind of stuff through the legacy funding or through MIAC, because there are ways to incorporate language and culture within that. So I would check with Jalen, but also the state just, the legislature just approved a bunch of or a lot of bills. And so we do have a listing of those bills that we did forward to all the directors as to what funds, what programs or what language was changed throughout. It was a lengthy email from Reed LeBeau, our lobbyist, on what was done. So I would look for that. Maybe check with Pam or Leah or Terry currently to see, and then I'll check our list too, and anything that might pop up, we'll let you know so you can apply for that funding to help meet that gap for those traditional components anyway.
Yeah, so that would be nice to continue that project is my thought.
Kim?
There should be like food sustainability monies coming out in the Inflation Reduction Act, because that's where all the climate dollars are. So there's probably stuff coming on the federal level too, to watch out for.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Okay, do we have any other comments on the closing of the clinic on the 25th? If not, I'll call for a motion to approve.
Move.
Moved by Robert,
Second.
second by Tara. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Thank you, David and Melissa. Great job.
All right, me good.
Thank you.
Yep. Next, we have Leah. Oh, Kim's doing Leah. Yeah. Kim Mascuzzi. Leah Mascuzzi was supposed to be on, but Kim's taking her place.
Yeah, she was on, I believe she's on vacation this week.
Oh, okay.
This is for the Zurich machine. That is the, I believe it's the oven that they make the dental crowns in.
Yep.
So when they presented it to you, they didn't read the whole contract, and it was to trade the machine in at the price they gave you. So
Okay.
it's like $8,000 more. I don't remember I haven't seen the paperwork.
$7,180
Yep.
difference.
To
Okay.
keep the machine. So then they'll have one on each
Side.
clinic.
Okay.
Because right now I think it's over in Tower. Yeah,
I haven't been there for a while.
sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so then they'll keep this machine and there will be one in Net Lake as well.
Huh.
Okay. So please
Since you guys
cancel the
approved it.
previous request and approve the total of $79,995 for purchase of a Zurich machine for the Net Lake Dental Clinic from Patterson Dental.
They didn't read the contract well enough, the thing that the company assumed that we were trading in the other machine.
And they need a machine for each side
Right, yeah.
so they can make crowns. Crowns are expensive.
Well, I think it speeds up in part of, because this was all justified under COVID.
Yep.
Because we bought the original one.
Yep.
With CARES Act dollars.
Yep.
And this is some of the, it's one of the special fundings we got from IHS, because you don't have to keep coming back in several times to get your crown. You can get it done in one day. Basically, you come in the morning, and then
Yeah.
in the afternoon it's ready and they put it in. Less contact.
Yeah. And before they'd have to ship those out,
Mhm.
take an impression and ship them out. And then you wait a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on when it comes
Yeah.
back.
And then you
This
put
way
it,
they get them within a day.
yeah.
Better service. Okay, so do we have a motion to approve the request for purchase of the Zurich machine in the amount of $79,995 for the
Move.
Net Lake Dental Clinic? Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Shane. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, silent, motion carried.
I just have a quick question on that. Does this, since it's coming out of the IHS ARPA funds, right? Or is
Not
it-
the ARPA funds, it's,
Because all it says is COVID grant monies.
yeah, it was COVID stuff. And you guys already approved the sole source for the original amount. And so, it's the
So
increment.
that doesn't, so it's separate from ARPA and doesn't require any additional, like how we usually do our ARPA funds?
No, it's,
No.
no, it's different.
All by itself. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to know.
Good question.
Hmm.
Okay, next we have Kim and Shane.
Is Kathy Holman on too? She
Yes,
wanted to be
Kathy
part of
Holman's
that
on. Go ahead, Shane.
conversation.
All right, with the previous tribal council, I brought this up before, and I brought this up again with the current tribal council, is that when the tribe sends out per capita checks and some of the checks return because we can't locate various, or some of the band members. And, I suggested that we put the per capita checks into a trust account, hold on to them for the band members. Because at some point in time, if they come walking through the door looking for the per capita checks and we don't have it, that's not in their best interest. And I brought that up before, is that we need to look out for the band members' best interest. And that's why I've been pushing for this. I'm still pushing for this.
Go ahead, Kim.
Well, at one time, you remember when we first started doing like the trust accounts and per capita, there was a lot of people you didn't have contact with. That has decreased greatly. There's still some whereabouts not known, and they do have a year to come back and get their checks. But the checks that we do void is what we use to fund the Elder Firewood contract. And that's what we, because there's not a whole lot anymore. And then on a special occasion, as I had wrote in the emails that we had in conversations before the meetings, there are on occasion people who have been adopted out that they have no information on, and they tend to be the older ones. The family, once they have located them and they've come back and they presented that to the council on a case by case basis
That's splendid.
does it. But my concern with some of it is you're going to have a trust account here and there, and the amount of work that goes with it, and it's hit or miss. There's people, and Kathy can help too. There's some people who come back like 8 years later and say, I missed my per capita in 1999. So they don't come back right away and ask for it, or and stuff. So that's why we had gone to that, because there's only so long we had the records for and stuff like that. But Kathy has been working on getting access to death indexes.
Yeah,
to
so right
clean up
now,
the rolls.
as of today, I have 30 per capita checks from last year that were never claimed. And along with that, I know you guys sent out the elder checks in December, so I have 40 of those sitting here waiting for people to claim them. I have 8 veterans checks that come back that nobody claimed yet. And out of those, I have 4 crossover for the per cap and the veterans, or the elder checks, excuse me, that are crossed over where nobody claimed them. And then 0 for the vet and the per cap checks that are, that I have sitting here in my office. But like I have a listing of the people that we have been looking for. But I even put notices in the paper, and I had very few people contact me.
And I know that this is not just a Boys Fort issue, but I know all the tribes, because you always see them looking for tribal members that haven't claimed either their per capita checks or whatever checks they had coming. But
the biggest thing is to, you know, and we've been harping this for years, is addresses. People need to keep up their addresses.
And I was going to say
Contact.
that today because August is coming next month. And make sure you update your addresses. And Kathy, if you can explain, because a lot of people I don't think understand that those checks cannot be forwarded. So can you
No, they
explain
cannot.
that?
Yep. So what happens is the post office, if you're not listed on the address that you're claiming that you receive your mail at, if you're not listed with the United States Post Office, they will not deliver your mail there. They'll send it back to the sender. So we need to make sure that people are going to the post office and updating their addresses also. So that's not anything a fault of ours. That's just the post office regulations that need to be followed. And we can't control that. So we have a lot of them that come back because it states they're not listed at that address. And I have a lot of them in here that actually say that right now. And like Kim said, I'm trying to work on getting or obtaining the ability to see if somebody's passed away. I got a hold of Social Security, but that's been going on for like 3 months already. So that's still in the works, but I did talk to Jeff, emailed Jeff last week, and he gave me some good suggestions on trying to figure out ways to figure out if somebody's passed away.
But just also so people understand that if that check gets sent to an address and you have a forwarding address,
they won't forward it.
They won't forward it.
No, our envelopes have return service requested on it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they get shipped all over the place. So currently, like, you can claim, like, let's say you didn't have this year's and last year's check. So right now you can claim the 23 and your 22 check. Once we issue per capita in August, you can claim, or I said that wrong. You can claim 22 and 21 right now. In August, when we issue 23, you can only claim 23 and 22s then. So they have a year to go back. It's cleaned it up a lot, going back and forth. And since we're talking about per capita, I was hoping we could pick the date today too. I was thinking it was August 11th, looks like the
best date,
because I believe there's something going on the 4th, but I'm kind of concerned about the 4th being too soon because I don't know when we'll get notice from the state of the amount.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we don't get it till the end of, towards the end of July.
August 11th looks good.
That's a Friday, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And on the address things, they need to have, is it July 31st, they need to have their address updates in?
Yeah, July 31st, and that's that's a Monday.
We've left it this, address updates July 31st every year, so it's constant, consistent. So people, hopefully learn to have them in by then. And you don't have to wait to update your address till right before per capita every time you move, because we do other mailings, like we're going to do postcards for the HAF program.
Mm-hmm.
If you wait, you might miss out on those notices of those programs coming out, other things. When you do your mailings for voting on new businesses, stuff like that, we're using that per capita address that's on file at that time.
Okay.
So getting back to the original thing is why this was on the agenda. Before we get all sidetracked and backwards and whatnot, getting back to the original reason, you don't think you could do it this year to start up a trust account?
No.
No.
I would like to
No.
look at more of the mechanics of it before deciding, because there's if there's people like has one here, whose responsibility is it to notify them they have a trust account, you know, kind of a whole bunch of stuff going on with it.
What I don't want to have happen is just keep dragging on and on and on and on and on. Pretty soon it's not done. That bullshit needs to go. Now, they have a year to get, if they don't claim it this year, they claim it next year, meaning coming back a year to claim the current,
Yeah.
correct? So that we can look at it for next year then to set something in place to get this done and accomplished. And if the council don't want to go with it, then that's on the council.
Mhm.
You know, myself, I'd like to move forward with it and say, yeah, we need to get something in place because it's in our band members' best interest, plain and simple.
I have a question. For the unclaimed and that go to elder firewood, roughly how much is that a year?
Somewhere between 25 to 30,000 is probably the unclaimed amount. And then, I don't know, I just don't recall off the top of my head because I don't have my numbers in front of me. Too many numbers. So the elder firewood contract is probably between 20 and 25,000 a year.
Okay, so then we'd have to come up with that
Mhm.
somehow. You know, if there's any, not to get off track, Shane, but any grant funding that we can apply for that? To
Not
make
that
up
I'm
for
aware of,
that?
not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I'll just keep that in back of my
Yeah.
mind.
And why we went with it at that time was because it was the per capita, it was untaxable and it didn't impact like other aid they got. Is why we had done that when we had set that up a long time ago.
Okay, well, we'll research the trust accounts and Kim, you can come back with the report
Mhm.
on that for not this year, but next, we'll work on it towards
Mhm.
next year.
Yep.
And then can we have a motion though to set the per capita date for August 11th?
Move.
Moved by Travis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Robert. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, silent, motion carried. And Kim, I know you've got a lot on your plate, but we will remind you about the trust accounts and following up on that.
Yeah, I wanted to look at how many consistent, because I wanted to look at the ones that didn't get claimed.
That Kathy has.
Yeah, and see if they're like some that have always been voided.
Like a pattern.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay,
Can
thank
it
you.
all be thrown in one account?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Good. Thank you. Okay, next we have Tracy Dagan. You need authorization for. Okay, Tracy needs authorization to be the administrator for the Energy Assistance Program. So do we have a motion to approve that? For Luke to be the administrator. Okay, oh yeah, new executive director. Okay, got it. Do we have a motion to approve Luke Warren Schultz as the administrator for the Energy Assistance Program? Moved by Tara. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Robert. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, silent, motion carried. Okay, that's all our business. So do we have a motion to adjourn? Moved by Shane. Is there a second? Second by Robert. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, silent, motion carried. Everybody have a good work week and short work week and a good weekend and stay healthy and we'll keep you updated as much as we can on our Facebook and website and newspaper. So, Miigwech, everybody have a good day. Motion to adjourn at 10:18.